Now, Lord of the Rings has a very big story. We're just gonna summarize it as short as we can. So, for the introduction, it starts with the Fellowship of the Ring, which is the first chapter. So, in the second age of Middle Earth, the lords of elves, dwarves, men are given rings of power. Now, the one who gave them the ring of power is the Dark Lord Sauron, who created some sort of master ring for the other rings to be controlled, and that ring is called the One Ring. Now there's a final stand between the elves, dwarves, and men to battle Sauron in the Mordor, which is the country for the evil things, and successfully they defeated Sauron in a battle where the king cuts the hands of Sauron, and that king took the ring for himself. However, one day this king got ambushed, and fortunately he did not give up the ring for the orcs. He just threw it on the river, and the ring is lost. By this time, the ring was found by a hobbit named Smeagol, and this ring corrupted the hobbit, turned him into Gollum. Now, still included into the introduction event where Gandalf the Grey assembles the Fellowship of the Ring, because Gandalf knew that the ring must be destroyed into the fires of Mount Doom. Frodo volunteers to take the ring, and accompanied by Gandalf, Sam, Merry, Pippin, Legolas, Gimli, Boromir, and Aragorn. Now, the Fellowship of the Ring sets off, and they go to the mines of Moria. In the Battle of the Mines of Moria, Gandalf was killed. In the meantime, Saruman the wizard creates his own band of orcs, and these orcs are tasked to hunt the Fellowship down. After the Mines of Moria, the Fellowship went to an elven sanctuary for them to take a little bit of rest and head straightly on their way. However, the bands of orc that Saruman created ambushes them and kills Boromir. Sam and Frodo escaped through the boat, and Merry and Pippin was captured by the band of orcs. Now for the rising action, let's jump to the chapter 2 of the film, which is the Two Towers. And it starts off by Frodo and Sam are kind of near to the Mount of Doom. While Sam and Frodo are lost, they discover that they are being stalked by Gollum. At first, Sam was really hesitant to take Gollum with them. However, Frodo realizes that Gollum is the way for them to get to the Mount of Doom inside Mordor. Now, since Merry and Pippin was captured by the orcs, so Aragorn, Legolas, and Gimli set off to rescue Merry and Pippin. While finding Merry and Pippin, Aragorn met the squad of horse masters or Rohirrim. Now, these Rohirrim are the people of Rohan, and they're experts on using horses in their battles. Aragorn asked the Rohirrim squad if they saw some hobbits. Unfortunately, they did not see Merry and Pippin because they're too small, but the last night they ambushed the orc band that took Merry and Pippin. The hobbits escaped while the battle is happening. Now, Aragorn, Legolas, and Gimli went to the kingdom of Rohan, where they discovered that the King Theoden was corrupted by Saruman. Now, they set off to find Merry and Pippin in the forest, where the trees are actually alive. While searching for Merry and Pippin, they discovered Gandalf, who is resurrected and turned into White Wizard. This new version of Gandalf is more powerful than Gandalf the Grey. Now, with the help of Gandalf, they went to the kingdom of Rohan to release the King Theoden from the corruption of Saruman. So after King Theoden was released and he was back on his normal form, they went to defend their lands because the orcs of Saruman plans to invade the Rohan city. So they went back to the castle where they want to have a stand and fight the orcs. Meanwhile, in the forest, Merry and Pippin convinced the trees that they were allies. But unfortunately, the trees are not so fond of war and they don't want to take part in. So Merry and Pippin just told the trees to drop them off into the Isengard. Now Merry and Pippin told the trees to take them off to Isengard, where Saruman is living, and actually the place where Saruman creates and breeds the orcs. The lands used to be beautiful and full of trees, but however, since Saruman is corrupted and he needs resources to create his army of evil, the trees were destroyed in the process. The trees got angered of this, of course, because they don't know that the war is happening, they are asleep, and they thought that Saruman was still a friend. So they invaded Isengard and defeated the base of Saruman, because Saruman sets out all of his army to battle with the Rohan army. Now during the Battle of Rohan, or as we call the Battle of Helm's Deep Castle, the battle was so dramatic and the Rohan army was just not enough. Even child and old men were used to maximize the army of Rohan. However, the tides turned when morning came and Gandalf with the exiled army of Rohan comes forth and charged to the battle and successfully defeated the orcs. Meanwhile, Gollum leads Frodo and Sam to the Black Gate, which is the main entrance of Mordor, and Gollum states that it's too risky for them to enter through the main entrance, so they have to find another alternative way. For the climax of the story, let's proceed to Frodo, Sam, and Gollum continuing their adventure to the Mount Doom. And when inside the Mordor, they saw that the Witch King is assembling an army of orcs to invade Gondor, which is another human settlement. So there's two now, the Rohan and the Gondor. Now at this point, Frodo and Sam and Gollum are so tired, they're out of food already, and Gollum just plotted a plan to kill Sam and Frodo and take the ring for himself. Going back to Rohan, Gandalf somehow knew that the orcs are going to invade Gondor. So he tries to convince King Theoden of Rohan to help the Gondor defend. However, King Theoden was hesitant at first, saying that Gondor did not help them when they need to help Rohan. But in the end, King Theoden agrees and realizes that he needs to help Gondor, so he assembles his army and went straight to Gondor for them to defend the city. Going back at Mordor, Gollum disposes of Frodo and Sam's food ration and water for them to get thirsty and dehydrated, and they're just so very tired, they think that they cannot go on. But Gollum insisted, and they need to go through the tunnels on which there's a spider living. And the plan is, this spider will take Frodo and Sam, and Gollum will just take the ring for himself. The plan worked out, however, Sam fought the spider bravely and drove the spider out. However, Frodo was just paralyzed and cannot move. So what he did was hide and let the orcs discover what happened and took Frodo inside where the army was just there and orcs everywhere. Now going back to the Rohan army, while they're gathering, Aragorn discovers that he's the true king of Gondor, and the elf master hands him the sword which is used to defeat Sauron and reforges it for Aragorn to use to defeat the evil. And with this sword, this is the key for Aragorn to gain help from the dead men of Dunharrow, because these dead men are loyal to the king who killed Sauron. Now let's jump straight into the Battle of Gondor. The orcs are assembled, they invaded Gondor, and however, Gondor is not defending too good. They are actually losing. But then Rohan came, charged to the battle, but fortunately the orcs have backup from evil humans who are corrupted as well by Sauron. But then again, Aragorn rescues the day with the army of the dead, because these men are dead, they cannot be hit by anything. So they successfully defended Gondor from the orcs and evil men. For the falling action, after the Battle of Gondor, both Rohan and Gondor armies are just taking a little bit of rest and plans their next move. Gandalf realizes that Frodo and Sam are near to the Mount of Doom, and they devised a plan to distract the whole army of Mordor by just invading and going up front to the Black Gate so that the whole army of orcs and the Eye of Sauron, which is a big tower, that when this eye spotted Frodo and Sam, it's game over for them. So this is the only way Gandalf think to successfully defeat evil. Meanwhile, Frodo is inside Mordor in a camp of orcs, and the orcs strip off Frodo's mithril vest, which is a vest where a blade cannot pierce through it. However, Sam came to the rescue, defeated the orcs, and he reveals that he has the ring. But Sam, fortunately, is just too brave and too pure, so he was not easily corrupted by the ring. They venture forward by acting as orcs. They just wore the orcs armor and pretended to be orcs themselves. Disguised as orcs, they ventured forward and found a way to escape from the orc army, and they took off the orc armor and proceed to the Mount Doom. So at this moment, they are so near, they're at the foot of the mountain. For the denouement, or the ending, while the orcs are busy battling Gondor and Rohan army up front, and the busy is I as well watching the battle, Frodo and Sam proceeds to the Mount Doom. However, they didn't know that Gollum followed them, and both Sam and Frodo are tired. So Sam has to carry Frodo towards the mouth of Mount Doom. At Mount Doom, they have a little bit of confrontation with Gollum, but fortunately Frodo won and threw Gollum off the lava with the Ring of Power in his hands. After successfully dropping off the ring to the Mount Doom, the evil is destroyed, the tower collapses, and all orcs just cowered. And of course, the eagles saved Frodo and Sam. After the rescue, Frodo wakes up in an elven sanctuary and was greeted by his friends, Gandalf, Legolas, Gimli, Merry and Pippin, and of course, Sam. They went to Gondor and discovered that Aragorn is the king, and the hobbits Frodo, Sam, Merry and Pippin are given recognition for their bravery and determination all throughout the quest. And that's all for the Lord of the Rings trilogy. I hope you enjoyed the video. The story that I have given to you is greatly summarized, so I suggest you watch the movie, enjoy it, and embark yourself to a quest to destroy the ring once and for all. That's all. Thank you.